Hello, hello all. My name is Bree Brasher and I will be your course instructor for this online section of public speaking. So public speaking online is kind of weird. It's like gym online, right? We don't quite know how it's going to work. Well, let me tell you, it works fairly well. We have this online platform called Zoom that we're going to learn to use, and it's very, very easy and very user-friendly, so you should have no trouble. And I have some instructions over here as well, and we'll have a little meet and greet this week to make sure that the program's working well and you have no questions about the course. So be sure to read through the syllabus in detail and then ask me any questions in our little Zoom meeting, which I'll get to here in a second. A little bit about me. I'm a Wyoming native. I'm from Cody, and I went to the University of Wyoming for both my undergraduate degree in communication, marketing, and creative writing, and my master's degree for communication itself, where I taught public speaking at UW. So I'm excited to be here with you online and excited to get to know all of you and hear all the good things you have to share in our speeches. Good ways to get a hold of me. You can either email me using my Gmail, or we can do it through EWC mail. Doesn't matter to me. During the weekdays, I will try and get back to you within 24 hours, and if I don't, please nudge me, send me another note, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. On the weekends, give me about 48 hours, but I'll still do my best to get back to you fairly quickly. Alright, our course dates here are January 9th through May 4th. I will go back and touch on office hours when we get over here as well. So January 9th through May 4th, I've incorporated all of your breaks and all those things for EWC schedule into our schedule, but knowing that we do have several things due each week. So I think the big thing with public speaking is that we think it's just public speaking and there's not going to be a whole lot we have to do besides give our speeches. Well, there is. We have all of our weekly chapters, some discussion threads, some quizzes, and some other miscellaneous assignments that will help you prepare for those larger speaking assignments. We also have 2 exams in this class. We'll have a midterm, which covers everything up until the midterm, and then a non-cumulative final exam, meaning that everything after the midterm is covered in the final, not the whole course. So that's good for you. Other things, guys, we have 4 online live speeches, and we're going to have some groups associated with our speaking dates and times to make sure that we don't have all of us online at once, because that's difficult to manage. So this first week, I'm going to have you sign up for a speaking time. So each day, you'll need to set aside that time and that time slot for that day. So just being sure that you're available on those particular days. The rest of the time you can move through the course at your leisure, just making sure that everything is completed by 11:55 on each week's Sunday. Yeah? And again, you can ask me any questions about any of this in our Zoom meeting that we'll talk about here in a second. Moving right along, I trust that you can read the course description yourself, but this is Con 2010, so a 2000 level class, keep that in mind with workload, and 3 credit hours meeting your Communication 2 general education requirement. We touched on these communication practices up here. The best way to reach me is via email. I will be online during office hours, so you can pop in at any time during those intervals, and I can meet you in the Zoom room for individual meetings if those times don't work well too. You just need to shoot me a note prior. Another thing here is that we're going to practice professional communication practices in our email. So being able to structure that greeting and the closing remarks, do those in a professional manner. I've seen students that treat email as sometimes as like a text message, and we want to get in that professional habit moving into the workplace. So structure those to me as well. Alright, our required text. This is what it looks like here, and it's called a Public Speaking and Audience-Centered Approach, and here is the ISBN number too. You will need this textbook. All of our readings are covered in there, and we do have a reading just about every week. So make sure that you have this as soon as possible. I have a note here that says students are responsible for reading and understanding all materials assigned in the text, even if not directly covered in class. So likely each chapter will have a lecture video, much like this one, covering the content in the chapter. I will pull out some imperative things that I think we definitely need to know, or things that might be a little more difficult to understand. But knowing moving into the quizzes that you are responsible for everything covered in that chapter. So just keeping that in mind moving forward. All right, guys, moving ahead into philosophy and purpose. Here I have written, the human ability to communicate is fundamental to the intellectual development of civilization. Speech gives a person the ability to give to one another the creation of mental images through sophisticated sounds and utterances, which lays the foundation for culture. Skipping ahead, the ability to clearly express yourself is essential for a successful career in any field. Public speaking is designed to help students develop abilities and skills in discovering, organizing, and communicating significant ideas. Individual growth and development is provided through the experience of oral exercises and by observing the presentations of others. An insight gained should help him or her to more effectively analyze, evaluate, and express ideas on social, economic, political processes and events. So the biggest one here that I want to pick out is the ability to clearly express yourself is essential for a successful career. So that's what we're going to college for, right? We want that dream job in that dream field that fits us the best. Well, in order to get that job, you have to be able to present yourself well and show that you are the perfect fit. So we're going to talk a lot about how to present yourself well physically, so I'll have a dynamic delivery, vocally, so we're avoiding any monotone and we're really engaging with how we present our message. We're going to talk about developing and discovering, organizing all of these ideas well, so you're not just rambling or lost in your presentation, right? Learning how to really narrow down and focus in on exactly what you want to say and supporting that well. All of these things we're going to do with our speeches and in our preparation. So we're going to have outlines that help us lead into our speeches that are organized well. We will even have some online workshops where you can come in and workshop with your peers. You can share your screen with others, and we can work through your outlines together in preparation. You can also send me your outlines if you give me at least 24 hours prior to your speaking day, and that will give me some time to send you back some detailed and helpful hints or corrections to your outlines. So if you prepare ahead of time, I will help you as much as I possibly can. So I want you to really read through some of these COM2 learning objectives that hint at what we just talked about above. Big thing here, you're going to see find, analyze, evaluate, and document information appropriately using a variety of sources. Source citation, I've come to notice, makes students a little nervous. I will be there to help you explain APA format and learn how to use APA format. Again, that's only leading up to speeches 3 and 4. So our first 2 speeches are just based on your expertise, your personal knowledge. So we will build to adding those other sources into our speeches. Next, let's talk about attendance. So in order to be excused from class, you must notify me by phone or email. And guys, I really prefer email. If you have something that's like an emergency and you really need to talk to me over the phone, send me a note and I will get you a good contact number. You must have a college or medical excuse to receive an excused absence and an assignment extension. If you do so, you have a week to make up assignments. Late work will not be accepted, so making sure that you're keeping up with the class, checking in, have a calendar or a planner associated to make sure that you're not missing any assignments and that you're completing things on time. I think that's the biggest reason that students fail public speaking is attendance. So just make sure that you're there, you're completing all of your assignments, working through things, detailed, complete sentences, all that kind of thing. So really paying attention to the class and you will do very well. All right, class expectations. Students are expected to conduct themselves with respect for fellow students, faculty, and the institution at all times. So public speaking is often a nerve-wracking experience that we're really going to try and mitigate and work throughout the semester, but we can't do that unless our speech meetings and times are constructed in a very professional and safe manner. So be sure that you are being a good listener and that you're really there for your audience members and your classmates, making it a positive environment for everyone. All right, read through your oral communication assignments, your exams. Remember, we have both a midterm and a final. And again, our online speech days here. So these are your days that you need to really set aside and make sure that you're available at whatever group time that you signed up for. And here's your links. They're provided all the time in all of your scheduling and those kinds of things down here, okay? So making sure you've set aside Wednesday, January 24th at 9 a.m. And speech 1 will take about 30 minutes because each person's speech will be 60 to 90 seconds. So you'll need about 20-30 minutes set aside there. Thinking about speech 4, each person's speech can be up to 9 minutes. So you'll need to set aside about an hour, hour and 15 minutes for speech 4. So these are the days you need to be available. If you have a time conflict or a day conflict, let me know ASAP so we can work around that and it's not a rushed last minute kind of thing. So really planning around these days and times, again remembering all times are Mountain Standard Time. Outlines and grade sheets, you will submit a typed full sentence preparation outline prior to speaking. And in our speaking assignments, you will see instructions for these. Written communication assignments will be coupled with digital communication. Obviously, this is an online class, but you can also still use PowerPoint, Prezi, all those kinds of things to help submit your message and send your message to your classmates. So Zoom has a share screen function that allows you to do that really well. Critiques, we will be doing critiques throughout the semester on either ourselves, a video, or a peer, and I'll let you know when those are coming up. Academic dishonesty. Guys, this is the worst part of being an instructor or professor, is dealing with academic dishonesty. So this is my rule. When in doubt, cite. If you're ever thinking, did I not paraphrase this enough? Is this not in my own words enough? And even paraphrasing needs that citation, right? So anytime you are in doubt, put a citation on the end of it. Attribute your information. Cite, cite, cite. You will never get in trouble for over-citing anything. So please, if you're ever in doubt, cite. Stay up on your assignments. I think that's what prompts students to be kind of in a panic and maybe not attribute things well enough or steal another student's work, all those kinds of things. So do your own work and cite accordingly. Please, please, please. Presentation etiquette, we talked about this a little bit, but just really being a courteous listener and participant. We do have this Turn It In service to help academic dishonesty up there. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Turn It In. Finishing up here, ADA accommodations. If you have any disability that affects this class, please let me know right away and we'll talk it out to work through it and make any accommodations that we need to help you through this class. All right, coursework and points. So your grade depends on the amount and quality of work that you choose to complete. If you have 833 or above, up to 925, you get an A, and everything down here, point values are adjusted for you to know kind of the amount of points required for each grade. We also have a few extra credit opportunities that couple with those workshops we talked about earlier. So there's 5 points possible for each of those if you choose to join us for a workshop. All right, moving down here, this is a breakdown of all the points and assignments for the semester leading up to 925 total. And then we have a detailed schedule here. Of course, it's tentative, so things might change, but this is what we're planning on as of now. Here you can see that speech 1 is assigned on Wednesday 1/17, but we don't actually deliver the speech until the 24th. So you always know if things are not actually due. But reading chapter 2 and chapter 6 and taking that quiz is due on the 17th. So that's kind of how the schedule works. And again, I will notify you and provide the links whenever we have a speech there. All right, let's talk about Zoom and instructions. So Zoom is just an application. It's very easy to use. Here we have our meeting on January 12th, so this upcoming Friday. You can either log on at 9 or 1, and I'll hang out a little bit online if you can't be on right at 9 or right at 1, and then you'll ask any questions there. It is a 5-point assignment just for showing up, saying hey, and asking any questions in Zoom. And down here I've provided our invitation and some other instructions for downloading Zoom there. So get on, play around a little bit, and then I will meet you in person, virtually in person, on Friday. All right, office hours for the semester. I'll be online from 1 to 2 on Mondays and Wednesdays, 9 to 10 on Tuesdays. And here is the link for Zoom, which you'll just click on and you'll be popped up into my meeting. We can also meet by appointment if these times don't work for you during the week. All right, it's a long little intro. Sorry about that, but we really need to go over the syllabus and make sure that you guys are prepared to start our coursework next week. So I'm looking forward to meeting you all on Friday. Please send me any questions that you have immediately over email, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Happy spring semester, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.